welcome to my channel. Today we are going to discuss Payment of Wages Act 1936, 30 MCQs. 30 MCQs on Payment of Wages Act. Before we proceed with the questions, let me just tell you about myself. As you know, my name is Afreen and I have done my MBA in HR, and I am two times UGC NET qualified in labor legislation paper code 55. I was ex assistant professor of HR domain in International School of Management. So this was about me. So let's proceed with the first question. The Payment of Wages Act 1936 applies to workers in factories and certain other establishments earning wages up to 15,000, 20,000, 24,000, and 25,000 per month. So the correct answer will be 24,000, because it is the very easy question in Payment of Wages Act, and you should remember too the wage ceiling is revised and now it is 24,000 per month. Let's come to the second question. The main objective of the Payment of Wages Act is to regulate working hours, ensure timely payment of wages, prevent child labor, regulate employment contracts. So what is the main objective of Payment of Wages Act? It might seem that these all options are true, but only option B, ensure timely payment of wages. To regulate working hours, we have Factories Act. We have Factories Act. To prevent child labor, we have Child Labor Act. And for uh, see to and for regulating employment contracts, it is done through employment contracts. So for ensuring timely payment of wages, it is Payment of Wages Act. Let's come to question number 3. Under the Payment of Wages Act, wages must be paid weekly, monthly, quarterly, biannually. So the correct answer will be option B, monthly. Come to question number 4. Which of the following deduction is allowed under the act? So political donations, fines imposed by employer for misconduct, charity contributions without consent, loans taken by employer. So the correct answer will be fine imposed by employer for misconduct is allowed. If an employee does any kind of misconduct in an organization, so the deduction should be made, and other than that is not allowed, like political donations without consent, charity contribution, this should be done by the employer itself. And let's come to question number 5. The term wages under the act includes salary, allowances, only basic salary, pension, and gratuity. So the term wages under the act include salaries and allowances. The correct answer will be this, salary and allowances. Now come to question number 6. Who is responsible for ensuring compliance with the Payment of Wages Act in an establishment? Who is responsible? State government, employer, employees, and trade union. So who is responsible for this? As we all know that only and only employer. Correct answer will be B, employer. Come to question number 7. Wages must be paid on or before the first of every month, 7 or 10th depending on pay period, last Friday of the month, 25th of every month. So the correct option will be 7th or 10th depending on pay period. Just understand in this question, if you have like uh, employees less than 10,000, you should pay on 7th day. And if the employee having the employer has having 1,000 or more, then it is 10th of every month. So this is the case. So 7th or 10th, very easy question, comes in every time examination. You should remember these at least these questions, because these are basic question I have come with, and in your examination these questions are going to come from Payment of Wages Act. And if you have completed these portions, I think most of the question you will solve. Now let's come to question number 8. If an employer fails to pay wages, he may be liable to. So So, if an employer fails to pay wages, he may be liable to option A imprisonment, fine, both imprisonment and fine, warning letter only. So, the correct option will be both imprisonment and fine. Now, let's come to question number 9. The Payment of Wages Act does not cover factory workers, railway employees, government employees, and port workers. So here, as you can see, factory workers are already covered in Payment of Wages Act. Now, little bit confusing, railway employees, government employees, or port workers. So if you choose the option C, this option B will be eliminated. So in my opinion, the correct option will be option C, government employees only, because from all these options government employees are not covered under the act. Wage deduction for fines should not exceed, wage deduction for a fine should not exceed 25% of wages, 50% of wages, 75% of wages, 100% of wages. So under this act, there are two kind of deduction, for cooperative societies and for non-cooperative societies. So for cooperative societies, it is 75%, 75%, 75%. Okay, and for like this other cases, so it is 50%, it is 50%. So this was the correct option. Now let's come to question number 11. Which of the following is considered an unlawful deduction? Option A, deduction for absence from duty, deduction for provident fund, deduction for advance given to worker, deduction for political donations without consent. As you can see all these options, you can guess the correct option is option D, deduction for political donations without consent. The act provides that wage must be paid in cash, check, or electronically, or both cash and check electronically. See, electronically means like when you pay online or direct bank transfer, these are electronically. Any form agreed between employer and employee. So the correct option here is none other than option C, both cash and check, both cash and check. So because the in under Payment of Wages Act, cash, check, and direct bank transfers are allowed, and any form agreed between employer and employee is not entertained. For example, like any kind of gift, any kind of material items given with regard to like wages, so it is not, it is unlawful to give. You have to pay cash, check, or you have to pay direct bank transfer. Come to question of, okay, so yes. So come to question number 13. An employee can claim unpaid wages within. So claims, see this, claims can be done within how many years? Like 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and 5 years. So here the correct option is 2 years. So within the span of 2 years, you have to make a claim to your employer or any authorities. Only 2 years. The inspector under the act has the power to examine books of accounts of employer, recover wages from employer, award promotion to employee, fix wages. So responsibility for wage fixation is completely to wage responsibility to wage fixation is done on the basis how many hours, how many like time, and also minimum wages need to be taken into consideration, and by the state government and central government and by the employer. See, and award promotion can be done by employer. So recover wages from employer, it is the authority, not the inspector. So inspector can only do examine books of accounts of the employer. So the correct option is option A. Now come to question number 15. Which of the following is included in wage under the act? Which of the following is included? overtime wages, bonus, gratuity, and pension. So as you can see, gratuity can never be included. Gratuity can never be included. Both. Pension can never be included. So what is the correct option? Overtime wages, and bonus also not included. Got it? Now come to question number 16. Employer must maintain a register for wages of wages for how many years? It is, see, as you can see the pattern of questions, it is not very tough. It is up to the mark, up to the mark. And in your examination, if you prepare like this, if you have completed these number of questions, if these number of questions are on your fingertips, then I feel that your whole payment of wages act is complete, is completed. Then only you can proceed further and go in depth and then study. But if you have completed these number of questions very well, I think you are ready for your examinations. And let's see the question. Employer must maintain a register for wages for how many periods? So the correct option will be option C, for a period of 3 years. When I have given my examination, I completely remember that this question had come in my examination. Yeah, I clearly remember that maintain a register of wages, how many years? So 3 years. So these so few questions in your UGC net examination will come repeatedly, no doubt, and these questions for every candidates to attempt. As you all know, there is no negative marking, so people, the question is asked in such a manner that you attempt, you get the number. So in which of the questions you are going to be decided who's going to qualify or not. There will be some other questions of some high level, in depth. So you need to have a basic knowledge, then you can proceed further for your in-depth understanding. So let's go further. The Payment of Wages Act was enacted in the year 1923, 36, 1948 and 1955. So the correct option will be 1936. 1930, 1936. Correct option will be 1936. Now let's come to, if wages are paid after the due date, employer must pay compensation, bonus, interest on delayed wages or nothing. So if wages are paid after due date, if just imagine your date of payment for the wages is like 7th of the next month, when you have less than 1000 employees, and you paid 10th on the next month, so you are liable to pay some what? Interest. So the correct option will be option C, interest on delayed wages. You cannot exceed the time frame which is given by the government under this act. So wages must be paid at the workplace or at a place agreed between employer and employee. For example, at the workplace, if it is cash or check, or agreed between the, if it is a direct bank transfer, virtually they can give anywhere. So this statement is completely true, so we will mark this. Now let's come to question number 20. The act empowers the government to exempt any establishment from its provisions. Obviously this act, this line is also correct. The act empowers the government to exempt any establishment. Exactly, like there are a list of industrial establishment which are included under this act, and there are some list which are not included. So exactly, the government has this power to include or exempt any industrial establishment. Wages paid to a minor are also covered under this act. Yes, so it is again true. Now come to question number 22. Deductions for absence from duty are allowed if they are unauthorized and excessive, they are authorized under service rules, they are decided by trade union, none of the above. So deductions from absence from duty, for example, there is a time like from 10 in the morning, 9 in the morning, you have to be there in your office, and for some reason you came to the office but you are not present, and your the authority find you that you are not available at your position, you are not in your office, you are not neither in the campus, or you are going gone somewhere or not. I mean, the absence from duty should be marked. So is allowed only when they are authorized under service rules. Got it? They are unauthorized and excessive. They are decided by trade union. No, no trade union is included here. So big no for this. And like none of the above is not there. So they are authorized under service rule. And if you see Payment of Wages Act, the first deduction is deductions from absence from duty. So it is very much there. The act applies to which type of employees? Only permanent, only temporary, both permanent and temporary employees, only contract employees. So this act applies to very easy question, both permanent and temporary employees. And let's come to question number 24. Which of the following authorities can fix the maximum permissible deductions for fines? For fines, who is the authority? So here the authority will be central and state government. Got it? Can fix maximum permissible deductions. Got it? It is not talking about claims, it is talking about maximum permissible deductions. Who can fix? So this authority can fix only. The Payment of Wages Act also regulates bonus payments, provident fund contribution, mode of wage payment, minimum wages. So see, for bonus payment, Payment of Bonus Act is there. For provident fund contribution, Employee Provident Fund and Miscellaneous Provisions Act is there. For Minimum Wages Act 1948 is there. So what it regulates? It regulates the mode of wage payment only. An employer cannot make deduction for the following without prior consent. Consent. What is the meaning of consent? For like your wish should be there. This means your consent. For example, if I ask you for something like a glass, for example, your watch or something, and you given me with your consent, you are ready to give, you are willing to give, this is your consent. You wish to give, this is your consent. I ask and you give me, so this is your consent. Or you are agreed somewhere that I will give you, you can take whenever you want, so this was your consent. I know most of the students understand this, but just let me I have clarified this the word. Recovery of advances, provident fund, union subscriptions, absence from work. So the correct option is very much clear, union subscription. Without consent, you cannot make a deduction for union subscription. But if it is absence from duty, obviously you can deduct without their consent. If their advances they have taken, you can deduct. Provident fund, it is very much lawful. For provident fund, it is very much lawful under this Employee Provident Fund and Miscellaneous Provisions Act that you can deduct a certain amount of money from employee. Now come to question number 27. The act prescribes the maximum period for paying wages to worker in factories: 7 days, 15 days, 30 days and 45 days. I think it's a repeated question, but it is asking maximum period. So maximum period can never exceed more than more than 30 days. 30 days, in any case it can never be like 45 days. If the employer has wished to pay in 7 days, they can. 15 days they can, but it can never exceed like 30 days, never, ever. So 30 days is the correct answer. So now let's come to question number 28. The Payment of Wages Act is applicable to only government employees, only industrial workers, all employees earning below prescribed wage limit, only permanent employees. So here the question is very easy, and I think you people have guessed it very correctly, that it is both. All employees earning below the prescribed wage limit. What is the wage limit? So the wage limit is, so what is the wage limit? It is 24,000, not 25. I just said, but it is 24,000 per month. Those who have, they are covered under this act. No other clause. So which of the following is not considered wages under the act? Basic pay, dearness allowance, bonus and gratuity. Which is not considered? Which is very easy question. So gratuity is not considered. See, bonus is there, so you must be thinking why bonus came again. So see, if bonus is a part of a permanent settlement between the parties, employer and employee, then it can be included. But in some way, if it is gratuity is there, so we will mark gratuity only. Other than that, you can mark bonus also, because in the payment of wages that you will see what are included and what is excluded. So bonus is the one which comes on the excluded side. The bonus is not included in the payment of wages act. So the correct option will be option D. Now let's come to question number 30. Second last question. A worker can complain about non-payment of wages to the inspector within complain. See this, complain about non-payment of wages. So how many? So it is very clear, like 3 months, 6 months, 12 months and 24 months. So the correct option will be 12 months. 12 months. Now let's come to question number 31. No, few more questions are there. Employers must maintain which of the following under the act? Attendance register only, register of fines only, register of wages and deduction, none of the above. See, employer must maintain what? Attendance register. So in this act, register for wages and deduction. Correct option will be option C. Got it? Now let's come to question number 32. Deduction from wages for absence are allowed if they are arbitrary, authorized by act or contract without notice for political reason. You cannot deduct for political reason. Got it? Without notice, you cannot deduct. If they are authorized by the act or contract. I'm getting some technical difficulty, but in the next video I assure you that it will be removed as soon as I become friendly with this tech. So if a worker is not paid wages on time, the inspector may award a fine only, recover wages with the interest, order termination of employment, none of the above. So in this, the correct option is, what is happening again? So the correct option is recover wages with wage due with interest. If a worker is not paid wages, if the worker did not receive any wages, the inspector may recover. First of all, they'll recover the wages and with interest, some amount of interest. Fine will be awarded to the employer, but later on. But first of all, recover wages with due interest. Termination of employment will not be there, because the worker is here only who is the victim and not the culprit. So recover wages with interest, and then the employer can get. So this was all about the 33 MCQs of payment of wages 1936. 33 questions we have done till now, and I hope you have enjoyed this sessions, you like these sessions, and do subscribe to my channel for getting new legislations MCQs, which will help you for qualifying your UGC NET examination in your very first attempt, just like mine.